aligned with the vision of 2047? And specifically, if we talk about tier 2 and tier 3 cities, are they also gearing up for these kind of developments?
The way in which these cities were being planned, that whole concept started undergoing changes. Urban planning systems and paradigms have started slowly evolving and changing. So the master plan is what decides by and large very broadly as to what should happen where, how land allocation should be made and in which direction the city should grow. The very recent budget that our Honorable Finance Minister has focused now on the smaller cities, the Tier 2 and Tier 3 cities. She has also focused on city economic region. But now there is an increasing realization that a major chunk of the GDP actually comes from our cities. Cities looking at rivers and riverfront development to also bring back the good old concept of the city beautiful. I am quite positive. But then, as they say that Rome was not built in a day, you can't really change everything so quickly. It may take a decade or so to get our act together.
इंडिया में रैपिड अर्बनाइजेशन हो रहा है, जिसके लिए बहुत ज्यादा जरूरी है कि अर्बन प्लानिंग इस तरीके से की जाए जो सस्टेनेबल हो और फ्यूचर फ्रेंडली भी हो। हमारे साथ हैं डॉक्टर P.S.N राव, डीन है SPA के। Sir, you have spent decades, I must say, when it comes to urban planning, and when we talk about specifically when we talk about metro cities and the way we are seeing the construction happening and the way integrated townships are getting developed, so that कि एक बार बंदा घर के अंदर घुस जाए, एक सोसाइटी के अंदर घुस जाए तो उसे बाहर जाने की जरूरत नहीं है. How do you foresee it? And is it aligned with the vision of 2047? And specifically, if we talk about tier 2 and tier 3 cities, are they also gearing up for these kind of developments?
Sure. Firstly, thank you for having me here. Urban planning in India, in the contemporary context, started in the year 1915, in the state of Bombay in those days. That was when the first Town Planning Act was created, and subsequently other states followed. And at the time of independence, we had several new capitals which were planned, like Chandigarh and Bhubaneswar, Gandhinagar, and so on. These were planned by and large on principles of Western urban planning, where the city beautiful concept was very much in place, and wide boulevards and rigid land uses and so on, very much in Lutyens' Delhi as well.
Right.
But subsequently, the way in which these cities were being planned, that whole concept started undergoing changes, because in those days the motor car was not very popular. There were less number of people living in cities. So there was a whole sea change that we have seen over the last several decades.
Right.
And because of that, the urban planning systems and paradigms have started slowly evolving and changing. So today, in most big cities, we have what is called a city master plan.
Right.
So the master plan is what decides by and large very broadly as to what should happen where, how land allocation should be made and in which direction the city should grow, where should you have the parks and where should you have the industries and so on and so forth. So that's the methodology that we followed. But then to do this city development, what you require is a lot of land. So the tool for bringing land into urban development is the Land Acquisition Act. Now that Land Acquisition Act, which was there earlier, has undergone a lot of changes. Earlier it was very easy for us to acquire large parcels of land and then do the planning, put everything, infrastructure, everything in place before the people come in. But now for the last decade and a half, that is becoming very, very difficult. And now the new scheme of land acquisition is something which talks a lot about compensation, rehabilitation. Farmers also have a place in the entire scheme of things and so on and so forth. So therefore, now the paradigm has changed, and because of this difficulty in getting adequate land, implementing the master plan has started becoming more and more difficult.
Right.
Number one. Number two, allocations for large-scale infrastructure for constructing roads, for constructing the commons, water treatment plants, sewage treatment plants, all this requires huge investments. Now, that also has not really come about. But in the last 1 decade, we find that these things have again changed. Now investments in urban development are increasing. The very recent budget that our Honorable Finance Minister has made, she has focused now on the smaller cities, the Tier 2 and Tier 3 cities. She has also focused on city economic regions. So it's not just the big 4 metros. At one time there were 4 metros, now there are about 15 metros. So now we should also start looking at the smaller towns and try to retain people there itself, provide better opportunities there itself, so that this migration from the small towns to the big cities does not really happen, and they get the benefits of being there only. So the last 100 years of town planning, if I call it, has seen a lot of transformation. It has seen a lot of challenges, and because of our lack of implementation of the master plans, we've seen squatter settlements, unauthorized colonies, illegal land subdivisions, all these have also been happening. But now there is an increasing realization that a major chunk of the GDP actually comes from our cities, and if you don't get your cities act together, then global investments will not really come in. So that is where we stand today.
So when you say from past 100 years if we see, but now if we talk about future, how do you foresee it that the cities are not just smart, but they are inclusive, affordable, clean and sustainable?
Yeah, so for this a series of steps need to be taken, and I think the current government is very much alive to it. There are new concepts of land mobilization that we are talking about, like the town planning schemes. We are talking about transit oriented development. We are talking about a completely new way of looking at ownership housing. We are talking about rental housing. So there are, we are talking about mass rapid transportation. We are talking about rapid rail. We are talking about metros in various cities. We are also talking about tramways. We are looking at cities looking at rivers and riverfront development to also bring back the good old concept of the city beautiful, so that the city is a place where you can celebrate and so on. So these are all the future concepts that are now being talked about, and I am quite positive. But then, as they say that Rome was not built in a day, you can't really change everything so quickly. It may take a decade or so for us to get our act together.
So my last question to you is that India's rapid urbanization requires cities that are resilient, equitable and environmentally sound. What steps should planners and policymakers take now to make the transformation possible by 2047?
Yes, today we are increasingly talking about climate change. So there are some cities in India which have already started looking at a city cooling plan. So there are many steps that are being taken. Green building, which yesterday was something very unique, has become the norm today. So today you can't think of a building which is not a green building. So every other building that we are building,
they are coming up with the certification,
Yeah, so it's become a very common thing, and if a building is not green, then it just can't be there. So there is an increasing concern now for water recycling, waste recycling. Even the waste management rules have been changed, and now we have a revised version which has just been released by the government of India. So there's an increasing concern on sustainability and environment, because healthy living and healthy cities are equally important, because whom are we building these cities for if you can't breathe clean air? So that's the...
Thank you so very much, sir.
Thank you.